Hello guys, welcome to my humble YouTube channel where I bring you fanfiction that will brighten your days. Before we start, a subscribe is greatly appreciated, and don't forget to leave a like and ring the bell icon so you won't miss exciting new fanfiction stories. The Anomaly, TensuraXDate Alive, by Humpzwas Chapter 9, Determination. Shido Pav, a few minutes ago, are you ready, Shido? Hearing Katori's question, Shido looked up at the main screen one last time. He took a deep breath and tried to calm himself. Shido looked at Katori with determined eyes and clenched fists. I'm ready. Katori nodded with a wry smile. Her smile wasn't as confident as before, but that was enough to let him know that she was feeling nervous. No matter how strict Katori commander mode is, how can she abandon her Oni-chan? Looking at his little sister, Shido replied with a smile and gently patted Katori's head. Everything will be okay. Shido spoke softly to Katori as he patted her head. Surprised by Shido's action, Katori's face quickly turned red like her hair color. But at that moment, Rain spoke up. Shin, hurry up and go to the teleportation platform. We'll get you as close to Rimuru as possible within a safe distance. Ah, thank you, Rain, Shido said, quickly moving to the teleport platform. At the present, the plan has been carried out. Shido was teleported right in front of Rimuru, causing her to be wary of him. In front of his eyes right was a girl wearing an outfit with the dominant white color that stand out from the surrounding battlefield. Her silver blue hair swayed slightly in the wind and her golden eyes seemed to shine in the middle of the night. Her eyes weren't as innocent as they were in the morning. Rimuru now looked like a predator in a state of alertness and watching its prey. He knew that if she thought he was with the Aston against her, it would be difficult to believe him. But there's still a chance. Shido bit his lip to suppress his anxiety as he stepped forward. Rimuru, while still looking at him with expressionless eyes, opened her mouth. What do you want? Her words were not harsh, and her attitude was quite relaxed. But Shido still felt a suffocating pressure. If Rimuru wanted to, Shido's head could disappear at any moment. This girl could kill Shido with ease. He had seen enough to understand that. Rimuru saw his nervousness and spoke up. There is no need for caution. I don't want to harm you, nor want to be harmed by you. It's annoying. Even now, the pressure from Rimuru has not eased. The fact that this girl can wipe out Shido's existence with just a flick of her finger has not changed. But, to answer her earlier question, Shido was silent, and it seemed that Rimuru was waiting to hear his answer. He never thought that Rimuru would ask him a question like this, or rather, he didn't even think he had a chance to talk to her at all. But if asked what does he want right now, even if all he needed to do was just make Rimuru realize that she was misunderstanding Ratatosker's intention. But what does he want? I want to date you, Shido said and took a step forward in front of Rimuru. Her face changed to surprise as soon as he finished his sentence. Shido stood still and waited for her response. His body was shaking when realized he had just said something to someone who could make him disappear from existence for a moment. 5 seconds passed. Rimuru just remained silent and looked at him as if she couldn't understand what he said. Are you kidding me? Her golden pupils looked at Shido with an even scarier expression than before, as if she wants to kill him, but Shido still spoke up. Not at all. I'm not joking, Shido said, his voice more determined than ever. Whatever it takes, he'll get her out of here. I and everyone in Ratatosker don't want to harm you, so please. He tried to convince her, but Rimuru intervened with his words. Don't make me repeat this. I don't need your help. Rimuru frowned, showing an annoyed expression while saying that. After sighing, she continued. Listen, no matter what, nothing can hurt me. There's no need for your worries. Even so, I won't care. I'll save you. Rimuru looked at him puzzled. Then, she speaks after a long sigh. Then don't blame me. It's because you don't understand. I won't let you. I won't blame you, but you're important, so I won't give up. Both Rimuru nor Shido didn't say another word. The uncomfortable silence was disrupted by Shido. Shido-san, Shido, concern, Shido, darling. Slowly turned his gaze toward the source of that sound. In the distance, Tohka, Yoshino, Kagaya, Yuzuru and Miku were running toward Shido. The appearance of the 5 of them made Shido seem to forget the fear he felt when facing Rimuru. Shido, are you okay? Tohka now came close enough, immediately asked about his condition. Looking at Shido right now, it may be difficult for anyone to say that he was fine, but he still nodded slightly. And it seemed like Shido's nod wasn't convincing at all as the rabbit puppet on Yoshino's hand spoke up. Shido-kun, there is no need to lie to us, but you'll have to thank us later, Yoshino spoke but was quickly stopped by Yoshino. I'm glad you're safe, Yoshino said in a small voice. The other three were also concerned about Shido's safety and glad he was safe. Hearing those concerned words, Shido only smiled lightly. After a while, Shido asked, "But, why are you all here?" "Rain told us we needed to get to you because you need our help." Less than so, this is the plan. Greater than Shido thought to himself. "Ahaha. Thank you all," Shido said with a wry smile. After talking to them, Shido turned around and faced Rimuru. She was still there and was looking at Tohka, Yoshino, Kagaya, Yuzuru and Miku. She seemed to be paying attention to the five of them. Shido was dumbfounded when Rimuru's expression changed for unknown reasons. She doesn't have the same alertness as before. Maybe it's because of the five of them? Maybe because she had never met another spirit. Rimuru noticed that Shido was looking at her. When his eyes met hers, she looked at him with expressionless eyes. That look seemed to block his throat, implying that his words just meant nothing. And then, she turned and walked away. "Wait," Shido said, but his voice was too weak. He didn't know what to say to her at all, but when she heard his weak voice, she paused as if waiting to see what he would say. Shido was once again surprised by Rimuru's action. Did she somehow start to listen to him? Not sure how. But he couldn't miss this opportunity. "Please come with me. Ratatosker will protect you." Rimuru frowned, unable to ignore his words. She turned around and started looking straight at Shido, making him nervous. "I don't need your protection." That sentence cut through Shido's heart, knowing that he couldn't do more than this. Shido uses all of his reasons to try and convince Rimuru. He has nothing left to say, but if he didn't say something now, she would leave. Shido couldn't force her, even if what he wanted was for her sake. "Darling, is she a spirit?" Miku asked, and along with the others looked at him as if expecting an answer. Looking at the five of them, Shido quietly spoke up. "That's right. She's also a spirit, just like you all." Shido said and looked towards Rimuru, who he failed to seal. Even though he couldn't see his current self, Shido thought that his face looked so pathetic that all of them fell silent. Tohka looked back and forth between Shido and Rimuru. And then, for some reason, Tohka started running towards Rimuru without warning. "Wait, Tohka." Shido spoke up, but it was too late. Rimuru also now realized that Tohka was approaching him and turned around. Tohka ran towards Rimuru, catching her completely by surprise. Shido was worried that they would fight, but Tohka ran over and hugged Rimuru. Tohka Pav, a few hours ago, as usual, Tohka went to school and returned to the spirit house. While Shido went out to buy things, Tohka also had nothing to do but play with the other spirits until the afternoon. Maybe because she was too busy playing, Tohka forgot to change her clothes when she got home. But that's not important. The important thing is, Grew, from Tohka's stomach, came an unpleasant cry. "Why isn't Shido back yet?" Tohka said without expecting an answer, but after a while. The door to the spirit house suddenly opened and it was Rain. Tohka, Yoshino, Kagaya and Yuzuru looked at Rain with disappointment. As if understanding what the four were thinking, Rain spoke up. "Shin has some urgent matters to deal with, so he'll be home late today." Rain replied and left the lunch for all four of them. After sitting back for a while to make sure all of them finished their meals, Rain left saying that Shido was fine and they should both stay home. But even so, Tohka felt uncomfortable. The reason for this discomfort was not hunger or boredom, but Tohka herself also couldn't understand it. And on the side, the other three also showed the same expression as Tohka. "Shido-san has been out for so long, could he forget about us?" The puppet Yoshino spoke up but received a frown from Tohka. "I'll beat him up if he did." Kagaya spoke. "Shido would never do that. There must be something very important going on." And after sighing, Tohka continued in a lower voice. "But I could not understand." At that moment, a sound of an explosion rang out, it reached the interior of the spirit house, making the four of them go on high alert. Tohka was confused because of this. She fully understood when Rain said that Shido has important business. It could be that he was dating another spirit. Even though Tohka was pouting like a child. But she wouldn't hate the girl that Shido met. Shido protected Tohka, Yoshino, Kagaya, Yuzuru, Miku, and possibly the other spirits as well. But each time, he risked his life. Tohka understood Shido very well. She understood that he would risk his life to avoid seeing others suffer. As she can't find a way to keep down her nervousness. Then, Tohka's cell phone rang. This was the phone provided by Ratatoskr that Tohka had received, but this was the first time someone had called her. She reached out and picked up the phone. Less than Tohka, greater than. Rain's voice came from the phone, attracting the others' attention. What happened, Rain? Less than. Shido needs your help right now, greater than. With just those words, the four of them opened their eyes wide and immediately left the house as if they had been preparing for this moment for a long time. When they were about to leave, suddenly a car stopped over and inside was Miku herself. It seemed Rain had also called her to help Shido. Miku tell them to get inside the car. All four of them get inside the car. Miku quickly speed up to the place that Rain told them. When they arrived, all five of them were overjoyed to see that Shido was safe, even though the surroundings had been destroyed to the point of only sand and dirt around. Overjoyed, all of them yell out, Shido, Shido-san, Shido concern, Shido, darling. Their voices caught Shido's attention. As they approached, the five kept asking about Shido and were delighted that he was fine. Suddenly Shido turned his gaze. Curious, they also watched. On the opposite side of Shido was a girl. She had silver blue hair that reached down to her back, and her golden eyes seemed to be analyzing the five of them. Those eyes showed wariness and suspicion, the same look that Tohka had before meeting Shido. Tohka looked the girl straight in the eye, waiting for her next move. But she just turned and walked away. Tohka was surprised by that and turned to Shido in the hope that he would take action. But Shido just lowered his eyes to the ground. He didn't even dare look at the girl. Tohka's heart felt like someone was squeezing it. That girl was a spirit, an existence despised by this world. But Shido won't leave anyone behind, right? Shido. He didn't make a sound. Even though she didn't understand what was going on between the two of them, Tohka could see the despair in Shido. This was the first time she saw Shido, who had saved her, falling into this state. He's still trying to save that girl. And he might risk his life again. Tohka had to stop that. Before it happens again. Without thinking, Tohka ran towards the girl. She understood that her actions were foolish as she was sealed. She would not be able to fight if needed. But at the same time, she felt the need to save that girl and help Shido. Rimuru Pav. As Rimuru turned around as soon as she noticed one of the two spirits next to Shido rushing towards her. With her speed, Rimuru could easily dodge if she wanted to, but Rimuru, for some reason, felt like she didn't want to dodge the person rushing in front of her. And when Rimuru realized, she was held in the arms of the strange girl. Her actions made Rimuru completely unable to understand what she was trying to do. The girl's embrace didn't use much force, but it surprised her so much that when Rimuru noticed, her head was on the girl's shoulder. Please stay with us, the girl whispered in a soft voice. Rimuru was confused by what was going on and tried to make sense of the current situation. What? Rimuru spoke up, trying to grasp the situation. Despite her confused look, that girl still hugged Rimuru gently and spoke up. Please don't hate Shido. Rimuru immediately fell silent at the girl's words. What's the meaning of this? That's not enough to convince me. Rimuru spoke, standing her ground. But that girl continued talking. That does not matter. The girl exclaimed. With a small force, she pulled Rimuru's shoulder and the two broke free of the embrace. The two faced each other as she continued. Thanks to Shido, I now have a new, happy life. And I don't want to see anyone else being harmed like I was before. Confused, Rimuru takes a look to see the expression of the girl. Rimuru was now able to see more clearly the girl who hugged her. She was almost as tall as Rimuru with long purple hair and a face that could only be described in one word, beautiful. She has mysterious eyes, almost like crystals that reflect various colors of light in all directions. Then, suddenly Rimuru felt someone tugging at the sleeve of her astral dress. Rimuru already knew it was the other spirits as she slowly looked at her. When she looked down, her gaze caught sight of a cute little girl around 13 to 14 years old. The hand that was holding Rimuru's astral dress was a white rabbit puppet. The puppet was using its two small arms to grab her sleeve while raising its head. Seeing Rimuru looking down, the puppet opened its mouth. Yo, Yoshino also has something to say. The puppet said. It let go of Rimuru's sleeve and pointed at the girl who was controlling it. This girl is controlling a puppet to talk to Rimuru. I was also saved by Shido. She said in a low voice and seemed like she was too shy to talk. But then the puppet in her hand opened its mouth and began to speak. That's not all. That's not all. Shido-kun once returned from Yoshinon to Yoshino when we got separated. The puppet said and repeatedly waved its hands. While the puppet continued to talk, the girl controlling it was lowering her face to prevent Rimuru from seeing her expression. Then again, the two girls that looked like twins got closer and spoke. The less than berserk greater than, Rimuru immediately knew that they had each other's spiritual power. Shido also saved us. Me and Yuzuru were fighting to see who was gonna be Yamai. Shido stopped that and now I'm living happily with her. Kagaya said. Yuzuru just nods. And then another. A girl with long bluish purple hair and looked 17 to 18. The spirit less than diva greater than, it seems she's recently been sealed by Shido according to seal. That's right. Darling also saved me. He was there even when after I lose my voice, if it's him. I will sing, just for him. Still confused about what's going on though. But Rimuru couldn't help but feel bad for all of them. Spirits in this world are considered monsters, hunted mercilessly. But each of them still has their feelings. They still feel sad, angry, and happy, but no one cares. Hey, your name is Tempest, right? The girl now asked. Rimuru nodded lightly. Yeah, Rimuru Tempest. Upon receiving Rimuru's nod, she smiled brightly. And spoke up. My name is Tohka, Yadogami Tohka. I'm Yoshino, and this is Yoshinon. I'm Kagaya, she's Yuzuru and we're the Yamai sisters. My name is Miku, Izayoi Miku, nice to meet you Rimuru-chan. The atmosphere between the six of them became lighter. Until Tohka asked, what do you think, Rimuru? Huh. About coming with us. Rimuru took a moment to think. Although Rimuru didn't want to get too involved in this world, however. Once she became a spirit, Rimuru was directly involved with it. She continued to doubt the Ratatosker organization. After all, spending a large number of resources to save the spirits and prevent space quakes. Sounds like a very good thing to do. But everything must have a cause. If approaches this organization, it's maybe easier for her to find it. But when it comes to sealing, just thinking about the sealing method, Rimuru couldn't stand it. But what if the answer is still no? Rimuru looked at Shido. He was still just standing from afar and looking at Rimuru. Rimuru will try to see his reaction. If Ratatosker would respect the spirit's decision, then Rimuru would consider their supervision while in this world. But if they're not, then Itsuka Shido. Her voice seemed to surprise him. I will agree to be under Ratatosker's supervision on one condition. Rimuru said with a firm voice and paused to wait for Shido to receive the message. I don't want to be sealed. After hearing Rimuru's words, Rimuru thought that Shido would feel disappointed. His surprised face slowly changed to a lighter one. Thank you very much.